So, Miss Griffin, I can't believe that we're at the end of the school year. It has been such a pleasure having Nyla in my classroom. She is so excited about having the summer home with, her family and spending time with her sisters.
Yes, she is really excited to be home with her sisters. I'm excited to spend more time with them,
Mhm.
but I gotta tell you, Miss Collins, I'm already exhausted.
What's going on?
They say they're bored all the time. And
They've been
that,
out for 2 days.
oh my gosh, I
Mhm,
know.
mhm,
But I'm the one that has to plan all the activities, come up with all the ideas, organize it, facilitate it, clean up afterwards. And it's so exhausting. And when one activity ends, they're waiting for the next activity. So it's so challenging because they all have different interests,
mhm,
and what is engaging for one child isn't really engaging for the other.
mhm. That reminds me, when you say what's interesting to one isn't necessarily interesting to another, it makes me think of a conversation that I just had with one of her classmates who has a new baby. That idea, that boredom comes in all ages and stages, and has a new baby, a young baby. Babies get bored too. That we want to think about what we're doing with babies and make sure that they are seeing different environments, that they have things interesting and safe that they can manipulate, that we're interacting with them. So even with babies, we're thinking about how to keep them occupied and.
Yes, that makes so much sense because when my youngest one, she gets pretty fussy,
Hmm.
and sometimes I just go take her for a walk and she
Hmm.
cheers right up. So that
Hmm.
makes me think that she was just bored of being in a house and
Hmm.
she needed some more outside time.
Hmm. It makes me think of everything that we've learned about the importance, about brain development and brain development in, that it starts, well, of course, before birth, but even with very young children, we want to think about keeping them in environments that are stimulating.
That makes a lot of sense.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Hmm.
I was also thinking about my toddlers. Right now she's a preschooler,
Hmm.
and time just goes by so
Hmm.
fast.
Hmm.
And I realized that like she also benefits from change of scenery of like
Sure.
being outdoors and exploring. And so a lot of times our activities are like scavenger
Hmm.
hunts or playing with the neighbor next door. Like she
Hmm.
really enjoys play dates and playing pretend.
Hmm. As a teacher, I'm thinking of the beginning of the school year when these little ones came in as toddlers, and my thinking that with toddlers, you want to make sure that you want to kind of keep them in the middle. You never want them to be overstimulated. And the first thing that they do when they play, I'm sure I don't have to tell you, they want to pull out everything that they ever owned.
Oh, talk about the mess.
Yep. And the being, what do I do? They become so overstimulated. And you want to make sure that there's this balance when you're deciding about playthings for your little one, that you have toys that also encourage quiet play. So that there's
Hmm.
this balance of things that are really high activity and quiet play. And I say to all my parents that we have the kids here really appreciate having a schedule. And at least for our staff, one of the high points in that schedule is nap time. But that's very important to them too.
Hmm.
And I don't know, I mean, you with your four girls, have you ever had one of them say, I want to take a nap?
No.
But we know they need to take a nap, especially the
Yes.
younger ones. So I
Hmm.
say be really careful to try to keep with that schedule as much as possible when they're home
Hmm.
during the summer, and make sure they do have those toys that are fun but that are quieter, and that they have that nap time.
Yeah, I think that makes such a good point about keeping a schedule and having quiet
Hmm.
activities, especially when my younger two children, they nap, but my older two
Hmm.
children, they don't nap.
Hmm.
And they get bored pretty
Sure.
easily when I need them to be quiet so that their younger sisters
Mm.
are sleeping.
Mhm.
I know they need the rest, and it's also like a really nice break for me
Mhm.
too.
Sure.
So I think about what my 8-year old
Mhm.
can do to keep her brain engaged too, so that
Mhm.
she's not telling me like she's bored
Mm.
either.
Mhm. So once again, thinking about that balance of things that
Hmm.
are really interesting to them, but like you say, perhaps when the two youngers are napping, the two olders can be engaged in something that's interesting, but allows the other two children to have, quiet.
Yes. A lot of times, because they, again, want me to come up with all the
Hmm.
ideas and be the entertaining one, I find that asking them what they want to do and
Mm.
what their interests are um, can help come up with some ideas.
Hmm.
So for my 8-year old, she really enjoys playing in the dirt and with
Mm.
bugs and science experiments, and most of the time that's that's for them to be outdoors.
Hmm.
um but like sensory tables can also be a part of like that quiet play, and I
Hmm.
realize she really does enjoy that, and that's helped her solve the problem, at least for her age, of trying to come up with all the ideas.
Mm. I can tell you've given this a lot of thought. What I'm wondering, and we definitely have this in the classroom, and it's the with your kids being older. I don't know if you see it as much, but encouraging sharing, encouraging cooperation, and that when you talk about the many hats that you're wearing, you're the person who comes up with the ideas, you're entertaining them, you're cleaning up. Do you ever feel like you're the referee?
Oh my gosh, all the time. It's four of them. So it
Hmm.
definitely feels like I'm the referee a
Hmm.
lot of times. And that can be emotionally draining
Hmm.
for me too, where I just feel like I need to just check out.
Hmm.
But I can't. It's a whole summer.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I come up against that a lot
Hmm.
between the four of them.
How do you handle the she won't share, she's saying she's not my friend? Sometimes I'm hearing these things in my dreams. It's such a part of the toddler preschool world. I just wonder how that, if you see that at home, and how they're able to work it out.
Yes, I do see that a lot at home, and because it's been so emotionally draining, I've just learned how to coach them
Mm.
to solve some of their own problem so that they can grow that skill, and also gives me the break of being the referee.
Mm.
So if there is something that they're arguing about, they already know they need to come up with a solution of how to share. And we've practiced that a whole lot. So
Mm.
they feel confident in being able to do that.
I'm going to have to remember that next school year, because there are days where I feel like I'm being pulled in so many directions, where I'm hearing Miss Collins, he's looking at me, she won't share. Yeah, I had that first. So it's just giving them, like you say, that
Yes.
opportunity to try to work it out themselves.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and sometimes they're not able to work it out themselves, and I do have to step in. And sometimes it's just because they've been so close to each other all
Hmm.
day that they need a break from each other.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hence the quiet nap time.
Hmm.
But I found that being able to talk it through and
Hmm.
helping them to say out loud what they feel about what's happening between their sisters, that's been helpful.
I always say we learn from each other, because that's the one area I'm really going to keep in mind when school starts back. Just letting them try, at least try to work it out. Hmm.
Yes.
Hmm. Because I find myself just getting in there and solving it for them. Hmm.
Yes, that has been so exhausting, and why I've chosen to try it a different way.
Hmm. I also really, I just love that you take advantage of summer. I'm hearing you saying so many things that you'll be doing where they'll be outside. Because I hear parents saying, the kids feeling like they have to, now that the kids are home for summer, the first thing they need to do is go buy new toys. And I'm always saying, let's keep it basic.
Hmm. Yes, it then costs so much money to go out and buy new toys, and sometimes they play with it for 5 minutes and then
Mm-hmm.
say they're bored again.
Mm-hmm.
So we do. We spend a lot of time outside. It's warm out, it's
Mm-hmm.
sunny, and sometimes it's just us, water, and bubbles. And they
Call
really
me
enjoy
over.
that. And they really do enjoy that, and
Mm-hmm.
found a way to include
Mm.
my tween as well,
Mm.
because that can be really hard to find things that she enjoys alongside her younger sisters.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know for our young ones, especially our toddlers and preschoolers, when I say go back to basics, they still, especially our toddlers, their favorite thing, give them a big box, a big empty box, let them use their imagination. Our preschoolers really encouraging imaginative play. What can this buy? We've seen boxes be everything from post offices to fire trucks to castles, and really encouraging that, imagination. And the really little kids, pots and pans.
Yes,
Now, you
that's
may
really
need your noise
good.
canceling headphones, but they love banging and clanging and just exploring.
Yes. Yeah, I realize that when they're able to explore and kind of do the things that are musical or creative or pretend, that that's really helped just develop their imagination, and
Hmm.
they turn boxes into spaceships. I think I have
Hmm.
one at home from your class.
So I stress to our parents that summer is such an opportunity to spend more time with your children. And if we can just keep it simple as possible, and focus on, like you say, letting them make choices. I also think the ability as parents to compromise and to just see and to take advantage of summer as a time to really get in there and have fun with your kids.
Hi, I'm Lachey Brooks, Infant and Early Childhood Mental Health Clinical Lead.
And I'm Bev Wethington, Parent and Community Engagement Coordinator. We're part of the Merrill Palmer Skillman Institute Project LAUNCH team at Wayne State University.
Thanks for watching our skit.
Stay tuned for more helpful parenting tips from Parenting Moments.
Bye
Bye
for
for
now.
now.